Birth and death are funny things. People end, they stop, they die. I'm not sure how to put it more bluntly. But the echoes of their life lives on without them, in the memories of the people they meet. A little snapshot of their existence contained within another's brain. And in the way we change people. Our parents help define who we are, our teachers, our friends. Without them, we wouldn't be who we are. And even when they're gone, we still have that part of them in us. And then we change the people we meet. And so on and so forth. The echoes of life live on. Even if the one that it started with is long gone. You even can get quite clear glimpses of people that have died possibly hundreds or even thousands of years ago in the text they've written. I mean, it's kind of shocking that you can read a book of some poor soul that died forever ago, but their words are still there, clear as day. It's quite the sight. Oh my. Today, something new will be born. It's your, well, beautiful baby Bonnie. I hope you take good care of her. You bring Bonnie home swaddled in soft blankets. You set her delicately down in her crib. She quietly begins to cry. Oh shit, baby crying. What do you do?
Well, she's a girl.
Check her.
Give her a action figure. Turn up the TV and grab a beer.
Play her some Mozart. Check her nappy.
Give her a soft. Attempt to acquire breast.
She's probably hungry, so getting her some breast milk is probably the best plan. There's a small problem though. You're a single dad. You try to acquire some breast milk, but unfortunately that only results in a few restraining orders. Eventually, you remember that babyphobia exists, and that solves your current problem. Oh my. The next few years are comprised mostly of crying and pooping, and considering that I'm not a sadist, I'm not going to subject you to that. So I hope you don't mind, but there may be an itty-bitty time skip. It's a wonderful spring day. The sun feels warm on your skin. There's a soothing breeze carrying the smells of flowers and newly blooming life. It's a perfect day to go on a walk with your little Bonnie. As you peacefully stroll along, a little white rabbit jumps out in front of you. Bonnie is simply overjoyed and reaches out towards it. But the next second, there's a sickening screech, and the rabbit is now airborne, being held in fierce talons, piercing through its flesh, staining its white fur so very, very, very red. As the hawk swoops off into the distance, Bonnie looks up at you, tears in her eyes. What do you do? You yell, "Who wants ice cream?" in an attempt to drown your child's sorrows in sugary treats. Please don't cry. I know it's sad, but hawks have to eat. Nature can be twisted. For predators, it's either eat adorable fluffy animals or, well, starve to death. It might seem cold-hearted, but it's how the world works. I'm sorry. I'm really, really sorry.
I mean, I'm leaning towards honesty.
Oh, that rabbit.
Survival of the fittest, motherfuckers. Get that fluffy bastard.
Hell yeah.
You hear the sound of a faint whimper in the background, but don't worry your little head about anything. That little rabbit always wanted to know how it feels to fly, so his friend Mr. Hawk thought he'd help him out with that. Must be a breathtaking view from up there. That rabbit had just escaped from super evil murder prison and was planning to blow up a, orphanage. The brave bird swooped in before it could do any harm. God bless our avian-based justice system. He'll be taken to trial, proceeded over by vultures. Please don't cry, I know it's sad.
Survival of the fittest, motherfuckers. Get that fluffy bastard.
In all reality, no, honestly, this sounds most like me.
Please. Bonnie cries a lot. A lot. When I say a lot, I mean a lot. When dinner time comes, she refuses to eat any meat on her plate. She vows to never consume the flesh of an innocent creature again. probably didn't help that you were serving rabbit for dinner. But the next morning, you cooked some bacon, and as you can imagine, her stint with vegetarianism didn't last as long as hoped
So you
for.
can say no to bacon.
You see Bonnibel looking up at you, beaming. Her face and hands a rainbow smudge of chalky marks. In her hand, she tightly clutches a scrunched piece of paper. She raises it up in triumph. It appears to be an incomprehensible mess of scribbles. A mess of overlapping chalky colours. You assume it's a deep, postmodern representation of the human soul. But Bonnibel informs you that it is a dinosaur.
I can't see that.
I'm really sorry, Bunny, but it just looks like scribbles to me. But
No.
nope, very postmodern. I see you've clearly taken inspiration from the school of Dadaism. Oh, your brushstrokes are reminiscent of Van Gogh's. Well, technically it's chalk, but someone as truly inspired as you doesn't need to be held back by such tawdry conventions. Clap your hands in delight. It's beautiful, my little Michelangelo. Body's filled with glee. She's quite literally bouncing around the place with happiness. Eventually, you both go back home and have a nice, peaceful nights of sleeps. But when you're away, you discover that every surface of your household has been covered in chalk. From the toilet, to the carpet, to the walls, to your own face. You're filled with a burning emotion. You quickly run to Bonnie's room, kicking down the door, and you scream, "Oh my god, we're gonna be fucking rich!" As your child's clearly the most prolific art prodigy of this generation. You bring round a few famous art critics to appraise Bonnie's wondrous work. They are not exactly encouraging. They recommend a cleaner. You tell them to fuck off. She's clearly ahead of her time. Dad, are slugs jealous of snails? It's just snails have those little houses on top of their backs, and slugs don't. It's just unfair. They don't have a place to hide and curl up in, or a nice place to sleep when it's cold outside. It just doesn't seem very nice. Well, they do have the snail. Well, during the Great Snail vs. Slug War of 1890, the snail Sir Leopold of Estonia wrested the crown from the ruling snail, King Jeremy the Gooey of the Back Garden, and in his victory he declared that no slug shall ever wear a shell again to remind them of their shameful defeat. Well, life isn't fair. Deal with it. Dab. Well, I know it is sad. Wait, when we get home, we can make some little shells for them so they can all be safe and snug. Considering the evolutionary viability of both of them, I don't think either of them are better off. I mean, slugs and snails have been around for thousands and thousands of years, and if one was superior to the other, they would have outcompeted one another years and years ago. But they're still around, so presumably they're at an evolutionary match, a tie as it were. So, yeah, they're probably equal. Otherwise, one of them would totally be dead and not here. Well, I know it is sad. Wait, when we get home, we can make some little shells. Considering the evolutionary vibe. Snails? Really, Bonnibel? Snails? I'd expect some. I think Bonnie might hate you now. And with a response like that, I certainly do too. I like slugs. Well, I like slugs too. You and Bonnibel have had a long day wandering around the great outdoors, peeping at wildlife. As you sleepily wander home, the sun already setting, the sky at dark blue, the last traces of light saying goodbye to the world. From the shadows, you hear a sickening crunch. Oh god, no. No, I didn't mean to. Out of the darkness, you see a poor, crushed little snail under Bonnibel's foot. You're going to hell, you snail murderer! You evil monster! Bonnie, we are higher life forms. There's no shame in crushing those who are weaker under your feet. You didn't mean it. It was an accident. It was a horrible thing to happen, but crying about stuff can't change it. No no matter how much you cry. Oh, sweet pea, don't cry. It's all going to be fine. It's only a snail. Bonnie, I know it. I know it's bad now, but we can learn from our mistakes. Next time we go out, we can bring a flashlight, so if it gets dark, you can shine it on the ground, and no snail will have to be trodden again, because we'll see them before we step.
That sound conflicting.
You going?
Bonnie doesn't seem to want to reply.
It is the dead of night,
And you hear a door slowly creak open. There's a small, scared voice. There's a monster under my bed.
Don't worry, I'm sure. Give Bonnie a gun and say, you'll be safe with this. If you see a monster, just shoot it. Don't worry, I'm sure there is not a monster under your bed. Look, just to make sure, I'll go check there for myself. I promise there's nothing.
Was he half laughing?
Bonnie, don't worry. I'm sure the monster is far more scared of you than you are of it. Only. Oh my god, there's a monster under your bed. What do we do? Quick. Get my baseball bat. I'm gonna call the police. Police arrive at your house and assure you there isn't a monster under your bed, and that you should grow the fuck up. And if you waste any more police time, you will go to jail. The air is cold, the sky is dark, spooks and monsters abound, creeping through every shadow, with one thought burning in their minds. Holy shit, we're gonna eat a ton of sweets!
Hell yeah.
Bonnie's face is pressed up against our living room window, looking out at the majesty of Halloween. Spooks, ghouls and ghosties abound, and princesses. For some unexplicable reason, princesses. I don't know why. Don't fit with the theme. Don't make sense. Why? That's aside the point. And on this fateful day, you have the chance to choose what particular spook, ghosty, or ghoul your little Bonneville will dress up as. A queen, because if those other little girls gonna be dressed up as princesses, your kid's gonna outrank them. A lawyer, because nothing shows the true evil of our world like our corrupt
Get woke, sheeple.
A priest, to show all those pagan sinners the true light. Note, make sure to tell Bonnie to yell at all the other kids, "Begone, foul spirit! The power of Christ compels you!" Oh, you've made her a little cross. A zombie, because all you need is pale green skin and moaning noises, and judging from the amount of candy Bonnie's gonna consume, that's gonna happen anyway. Well, spiders do have 8 arms, and that would give you the addition of 4 times the candy-grabbing power. A lawyer, a queen, because if those other little girls gonna be dressed, Bonnie had an interesting interpretation of being a monarch, sentencing people to death when they didn't give her enough candy. It was a little unorthodox, but people found it charming. Till she started carrying on the axe and attempted to make her threats. It's a lovely autumn day. Orange leaves gently drift along in the cold breeze. Once again, you're going for a walk with Bonnie. It feels peaceful. You feel quite content. Numb to the world, Bonnie is happily skipping beside you. You can't even feel the cold breeze on your face. Everything's fine. Wait, you can't feel the cold breeze on your face. It's like November, you should probably be able to feel that. Your arm doesn't seem to move. You realise that the soothing sensation of numbness, it felt quite calming at first. But now you can't feel your body. All the sensations you've lived your whole life with, the feeling of air rushing in and out your lungs, your heartbeat, your clothes on your skin, they were so omnipresent. It just faded into the background. You forgot about them, but now it's gone. Its absence makes you feel so empty. You begin to slowly topple backwards. For a second you worry you'll hurt yourself when you hit the ground, but you remember at this point your body seems not to be capable of feeling anything, let alone pain. You look up at the sky, your vision beginning to fuzz. There's a face. Someone above you. Someone you really should remember. Their mouth is moving as if they're yelling, shouting, calling it, but you can't seem to hear anything. You attempt to speak, to try and soothe that distressed soul. You try to speak, but somehow you can't manage to get the words out. You desperately try, repeating it over and over in your head, but in the end, there's only silence. The last experience you'll ever have is that single thought. I'm sorry. I'm going to miss your 7th birthday. I wanted to get you a dog. I don't want to leave. It's all going to be okay. It's funny, I thought it would hurt. At least I got to spend my final moments with you. I love you. I love you. It's all... I don't want to leave. I'm sorry. I'm going to miss...
I was gonna get her a puppy. You have nothing else. You have me. My hope is lost. It's unbearable. Look away from the world.
When you have nothing else, you have me. When all hope is lost, when reality is unbearable, look away from the world, and you'll discover a whole new one, tightly embraced in my arms. I hope you never look back. You hear a faint cry off in the distance, but suddenly the cries are not so distant. A wave of noise hits you, cackling, hooting, screaming. You can't tell whether the makers of the sound are going through the most sensual joy or the worst pain you could imagine. You open your eyes, the noise suddenly stops. You see strange figures in front of you, small, carrying a mixture of hope and fear on their twisted faces. One slowly creeps towards you, and it appears to attempt to bow, even though its body seems rather unsuited to the position. It splutters out. Please, please, save us. The world is big and scary, but now you're here. Everything will be okay. You can protect us from the monsters at night and feed us when we're hungry. Teach us what's the difference between right and wrong. Please, we beg you. The one who fell from the stars. Help us. Help us. What did you little shits do? Did you bring me here? You brought me here. Why did you bring me here? What the fuck do you want to do with me? What? They appear to have set up some sort of feast to celebrate the coming of their new savior. They seem to be happily chirping to each other in some sort of strange alien song, passing small cups of dirty water around as if they were wine, and happily munching on something that can be charitably described as very, very stale bread. For a second they all freeze and look up at you. One of them slithers forwards, and they say, in a quavering voice, "Pizza! Pizza! Any food is good food. I like food. Give me food." "Meat, the manliest of meals." "No meat. Vegetarianism for life. If you don't go green, it means you're mean. If you eat meat, you're a deadbeat. Woo." Pizza!
We'll go with pizza.
Pizza? Oh, but with no weird toppings. I'm not talking about the cliche pineapple on pizza, even though that is still the worst kind of heresy. We're talking about the stuff dreamt up by the most sick, most depraved, evil individuals that call this planet our home. The Swiss. They put banana on their goddamn pizza. How could this ever be forgiven? I mean, it's bad enough them not siding against the Nazis in World War II, but this is far, far worse. Note from me, Lumrel, maker of this game. Sorry, really sorry. Really don't hate Swiss people, I just thought it was a fun joke, so I wanted to put it in there. Please don't hurt me. Treehouse, on top of the ground, underground.
On top are trees. They sound greatly amusing. Especially, consider how much these little guys are going to fall out of them trying to construct houses on top. Not to mention the potential for fire hazard risks. If you're going to be sticking around, you've got to make sure you have a good show to watch, and this looks like one of them. Suddenly, your little world becomes very, very still. The details begin to blur and fuzz over. There's a mind-breakingly loud noise, like shattering glass, but replicated 1,000 times over. Everything's dark. Everything's pitch black. You can't see. Your little monster friends are running around in blind panic, with as little on earth of a clue as what's happening as you currently have. What the fuck do you think you're doing? Seemingly manifesting random godly powers. I must admit, it's pretty neat. I mean, I can make people happy with them, and it makes me happy. And if it makes me happy, why question it? And if I question it, it might make me unhappy. And I really don't want that.
Wait a second. Did I appear in a flash of lightning? What the hell is wrong with my hands? If you gave me dark eyeliner, by God, I'm slapping the hell out of us when we wake up. The evil apparition stares at you with fierce intensity. Oh, fuck no! The narrator did not just call me evil looking. I am not the bad guy here. What are these meant to be? You're too old to be playing with dolls. What the fuck do you think you're doing?
The monster looks down with sheer disgust at the little creatures scurrying around in a blind panic at its feet.
This is not how we're meant to deal with this situation.
It stamps down hard like an exterminator on a particularly annoying cockroach. One of the tiny being's bodies explodes beneath the weight of its foot. Its splattered remains begin to ooze gently across the floor. The helpless little creatures begin to cry and shriek, "Please stop it!" Before the despicable monster can say another word, you raise your hand. Ignore it. Shoot it with your super cool laser powers. Convince it to atone for its evil ways. Ignore it. Convince it your radiant beauty is so overwhelming that you begin to produce radiant rays of light. Your sheer perfectness is so beautifully overwhelming that the evil beast's head explodes, its brain unable to cope with your sheer awesomeness. The little creatures begin to cheer. Hooray! You banished the monster. Oh my god, I know you were awesome before, but you're so awesome, I can't describe it. So I'll just make random noises and hope it does it justice. You saved us from the monsters, from the bad place. The bad place is a place from the monsters came, which is bad, so if the monsters came from it, the monsters would be bad. Well, if it came from the bad place, it being bad goes without saying, because bad stuff comes from the bad place, which is bad. Bad. Bad, bad. Bad, bad, bad. Bad, 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 bad. It's bad. Bad, bad. It's just very, 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 very not nice. We're so terribly scared. More things will crawl out of there. They ruin everything. Please, make them go quiet. Such a divine thing as you could surely stop such terrible things from happening. You could stop anything bad from happening. No, no, why me? Please, stop. You can't make me. No, please. Go to bad place.
Stop.
So you decide to go. No, I don't. So you decide to go. No, I do not. So you decide to go. No, I... And now you're there. All your charming little creatures are gone. All your creations, from their homes, to the bountiful food you gave them. There's none of it. There's nothing.
You can't keep me out forever. You can't keep us out. This is not a fairy tale. This is not a game you can win. The world happens around you, and no matter how much you cry or pretend, tears won't change it. They're gone. They'll be gone forever. It's just life. In life, there's no saving point. There are no second chances. In the end, it will always be a game over.
Why did you take so long? I have been waiting. Do you see me? Do you know who I am? I was born rich, beautiful. I'm smart, athletic, and oh so talented. I put Leonardo da Vinci to shame. And do you know why? I was born this way. I was born a queen. And who are you? When a person walks past you on the street, they'll never remember your face. They'll never even think to try. Because we're all born into this world with certain roles. You may be born into Africa as a child, smitten with illness and disability, led to leave a short life, ending in the arms of your weeping mother. He couldn't control his fate, neither can you and neither can I, because in the end we're all paper bags being blown around in the breeze, and where we land is not up to us, and we can't escape once we do land there. You'll never be as pretty as me. You'll never be a queen. You'll never be beautiful. You cannot escape that. Are you joking? Life isn't certain. It's just not. For better and for worse. You could walk out your front door one day, and maybe you'll meet your true love, and maybe you'll be hit by a fucking car. Who knows? Hell, I'm not even certain what cereal I'm gonna eat this morning. If I'm not certain about that, being certain about my whole life being a roller coaster that only goes downhill is a bit much to ask. Uncertainty is scary, but there is an upside because there's a small chance something magical could happen. Even if I know there's a possibility it could be bad. And seeing how weird and random my existence is, to say that I'm permanently stuck in one place, that I can't put one foot forward. I'm sorry, this isn't very polite, but that's just fucking dumb. Suddenly, your pack, your little monster friends surround you, celebrating. You did it. You actually did it. You're amazing. You destroyed the Heart of Darkness and you came out the other side. It's okay now. You're safe. Nothing can stop you or hold you back. You can be here forever. You can be whatever you want to be. A king, a queen, a god. As long as you're here, you can do anything. You can take care of us. Teach us new things. Comfort us when we have nightmares. Give us silly costumes to wear. As long as you're here, you're safe. The world begins to dissolve around you, like paint starting to run in the rain. You don't know if you chose the right thing. Alice had to leave Wonderland. Sometimes a fantasy can be the only thing keeping a fragile soul alive. But if you stay there forever, you can never truly live. The world melts away. You awake to a blinding light. I'm not sure if you're quite ready for reality. It's all good to love yourself and be content with who you are, but when you love yourself quite this much, it can become very toxic. Your own pride and passion drive many friends away, and it ends up biting you in the ass more than a few times. But your sheer conviction and determination, your demand of the universe that I will be something, manages to pay off. You become a rap artist, so you can talk about how awesome you are as much as you want without anyone blinking an eye. You're honestly quite the natural talent at it. You're awarded with a Grammy, proclaiming that you're an adult and you don't need handouts, followed by an incident where you get tased by Ryan Reynolds and Elijah Wood. Thankfully, you managed to get away with it, saying it was just an elaborate piece of performance art dedicated to the band Lonely Island. But it wasn't. This is not the last time you'll be tased. After a turbulent life, you sit alone in your house, staring into the middle distance. You made many mistakes, and in hindsight, you're not exactly a perfect human being. But you tried to live your life to the fullest, and at least that's something you do not regret.
The queen is dead. Okay, well that was weird too. Not as weird as the first one. I think I found the first one a little funnier than this one. This felt like it had more of an idea of what it was trying to do than the last one. I like that the voiceover was on there, made it easier on me. Some